All right, so we're going to start with the race that will be on tap first on Saturday, and that is the Keeneland Toyota Bluegrass Stakes race, and this is going to go off about 5:15. And really, this is I looked at Tapit Trice, and I noticed because I got the odds after I went through the field and did the sheets first, and I was like, you know what, this is a pretty weak field. There's only maybe a couple of other horses in this race that could probably compete with Tapit Trice. I'd be very happy, John, if I could get 5-2 on Tapit Trice.
Well, if he's going to run the 8, yeah, but I don't know if he's going to run the 8. I was a little more interested in maybe verifying coming back. His last race, they went crazy fast early, and I would draw a line through that race. I would expect this horse to run much better. He gets a rider switch to Gaffleone as well, you know. And you have other horses in the race off of tops. You have the 4 classic car washes off at top. Hey Strike is off the top, but that could have been a Lasix top because he popped when getting Lasix for the first time. But I'm not so quick to give it to Tapper Trice. I think verifying may be the right play in here.
Chad?
Chad?
I don't mind Tapper Trice having another run after the Tampa Bay Derby. I think he needed it. I think this is the wrong track with the wrong stretch, and he got the wrong post. Post 1 for this horse. And I know he was post 1 when he won the allowance race at Gulfstream, but that was a different group at a different time.
And look, that's one turn. That's one turn. That's totally different.
They're going to try and break this horse out of the gate a little bit more forward. They're experimenting. Again, he already has enough points to get to the Derby. This is another kind of situation like with Forte they try to take back. Here with Tapper Trice, they're going to try and change his running style and put him a little bit closer. I don't know that you can. I don't know that he wants it. I don't know that he really enjoys being inside of horses. If you go back and you watch his races, all 3 of his victories are when he's outside in the clear. So if they try and put him into the race, and Luis Ayes is great at it, and Todd Pletcher has the 3 favorites in the Derby right now. But if you try and put this horse in the race early on, and he's not forwardly placed in the top 3 or 4, which I don't think he's fast enough to do, he can get himself in a very, very precarious situation. And I don't know that he likes getting dirt in his face. And in a field of 12, I don't know that he's going to be able to get out in the clear until maybe it's too late on what is a very short Keeneland stretch. I'm really against Tapper Trice here at 5-2. And I like Tapper Trice, and I think he's a contender in the Derby. I do not like him on Saturday in the Bluegrass.
All right, so verifying, without a doubt, needs this race over Tapper Trice.
Look, the problem with verifying, okay, from a pedigree standpoint, of course, look, he's a half to Midnight Bissu. He's supposed to be an unbelievable horse. He gallops as well as any 3-year-old of the crop. He's a beautiful mover in the morning time. He's just been so inconsistent and so tough to trust. So when you're talking at 3-1, he's a must-use for me, and he's probably the most likely winner in my opinion. But do I want to bet him to win? That's where I don't know, because he runs so spotty. His race first time out was great. Second time out was okay. Third time out, terrible. Then start the year anew. His Oaklawn Park allowance race, phenomenal. Then he comes back with a so-so run, stop, run, stop kind of race. And now he's back here. Which verifying are we going to get? Can verifying put it all together? It sounds like his work the other day with Hitcher was fantastic last Friday at Keeneland. He seems to be doing things the right way and has the right running style here. But to me, he's just tough to trust for me to make a win bet. But he is a must-use, and he is the most likely winner in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing that shouldn't it concern you a little bit? You mentioned his worst race happened to be almost at this distance at the same racetrack.
I throw that race out. That was I don't know what was going on that day. I really don't understand that race. I put a big giant line. As much as he's inconsistent, he's better than how he ran at Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup that day. I don't know what was going on, but I don't fault him for. I don't buy into that. He doesn't like the track because he got beat 27th in the Breeders' Cup.
Now Raise Cane from the 10th position, 9th in the Derby point. So Raise Cane will be in the Derby. First time Rosario, another closer here, winner of the Gotham, coming off 3 straight 14s, including, of course, on the dirt twice. So what about Raise Cane from the outside, John?
Well, first of all, he's going 2 turns, and he's breaking from the 10 post, and he's not fast. What is a 14 going to do for you? He would have to run a new top. I don't like him.
I mean, look, this was an interesting situation because Ben Colebrook, who obviously he's had nice horses before, but hasn't necessarily been in this position where he had to choose, what to do. The Wood Memorial, probably the easier of the two races between the Wood and the Bluegrass. He had a win already over the track at Aqueduct, but they elect to stay home. Look, he trains at Keeneland year-round. He knows that track very, very well. He likes to just walk him out of the stall. Again, same thing as Tapper Trice, where he has the points. So not as big of a stress if he doesn't run 1, 2, 3. He's still in the Derby no matter what. And I think that weighed in the decision instead of having to put the wear and tear and shipping him up to New York and shipping him back to Kentucky. But I agree with Jonathan. I need to see more from him. He had the most wonderful trip of all time last time in the Gotham. I want to see how he is on a fast track against other horses and see what happens.
So, what is Blazing Sevens doing at 6-1? Now we ran a 9 back in October, but since then we have a 12, we have a 22, we have him going in the opposite direction. Didn't do a thing at the Fountain of Youth last time out. Is it the Arad Ortiz, Chad Brown combo most of all, John?
I would say so. I mean, the horse has no shot off the sheets. He looks like he's finished. I don't like him at all.
I mean, the thing is somehow, and people, Chad Brown's run this race 5 times before with 3 wins in 2 seconds. So it's a race that he's had a lot of success in. We thought the horse would need the race last time out. He didn't look like he was really prepping and working all in the Fountain of Youth and ran into the top contender in Forte, but he didn't run a step.
He went 5-1 against Forte. 5-1 against Forte.
I expect an improved effort from him on Saturday, but I don't know that an improved effort gets the job done here. So, I'm a wait and see approach here on Blazing Sevens.
Sun Thunder, the 10-1 shot. Now, he looks like he's probably going to get in, especially he'll probably seal the deal if he gets any points here because he's 19th in points. He had a really nice sheet line, John, for the first 4 races. It had a 13 in February, so everything was going in the positive direction after finishing second at the Risen Star, but then had a disappointing effort the last time out. So what do you think about, Giroux's on board? This is one of 3 trained horses by McPeak in this race, and you are getting 10-1. So how do we look at that last race out for Sun Thunder?
Well, I mean, you could certainly always excuse a bad effort, but even if he runs his best, what's he going to do? What's he going to run, a 14? A 14, he's like 7 other horses in the race. I don't like him in this spot.
Nothing, Chad?
Right, look, I mean, Ken McPeak does this every year. He tries to make the Derby by running them until they get enough points. Could this horse run 4th and somehow make the Derby? Yeah, but I he's a non-factor for the win for me. Coming back very, very quick. Coming back in 2 weeks. Going from a mile and 3/16 to a mile 8th in a tough field against fresher horses. I just don't see it.
The 2 horses John mentioned that are coming off all their tops. Classic Car Wash, the 4 is 12-1, 11 last time out on March 11th. And that was a 4-point new top. Hayes Strike, the 5 at 15-1, ran an 11 as well. That was 5 points new top. So out of those 2 horses, John, which one do you like better?
Probably Classic Car Wash.
Chad?
He still has room for improvement, so that's why I want
I think we haven't seen the best of Classic Car Wash. I know jockey Michel Jaramillo was really, really thought that he was sitting on a good horse in the Sam F. Davis, and he ran okay, and then he ran okay in Tampa. I don't know that's his favorite track. I think he can improve, and it wouldn't surprise me to see a big effort from him. To me, that price is too high. Was he 12-1 morning line?
Yeah.
I think he's better than the 12-1. Castellano gives up a day in New York. He could have rode some horses in the Carter and the Wood Memorial to go there and ride Classic Car Wash, as he still seeks his Derby mount. Although I guess he could ride Cyclone Mischief in the Derby. But To me, I think it's very, very interesting to see kind of what happens with that horse. It could be a big weekend for Mark Casse. I think Wonder Wheel will run a huge race tomorrow in the Ashland. So could be a very big weekend for the Mark Casse barn, starting with Wonder Wheel and then ending with Classic Car Wash.
And the last horse I wanted to mention was Major Blue, the 30-1 shot from the 9th position. Wants to lead. This is a D. Wayne Lucas horse, John, and the sheets have been pretty solid. Last time out was a 13, gotten better each time. So if he continues on that trajectory and he can hit an 11 or a 10, and he's 30-1, is this a horse that you could try to make money with in your exotics?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a lot of other horses. The only difference is he's at least a big price. So who knows?
The guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest trainers of all time. I don't understand going a mile to 5.5 to a mile and an eighth. I just, there's too much playing around. But this is the race that I have, the horse that I love. And not surprisingly, since you never mentioned King Russell until I did last week, we left off the most important horse in the race this week, and that is the one and only Scooby Quando.
Scooby Quando
broke his maiden.
Never ran on dirt. Never ran on dirt.
Never run on the dirt. Second time out, he ran an allowance race, and then he ran in the stake the day that Ben Colebrook famously was on the plane after missing the Gotham and running back in the to go saddle this horse. He's never run on the dirt. That's the one question. And pedigree-wise, would suggest maybe he's better on the turf. But I really, really like this horse. I like what I've seen from him in the races. He has that same kind of tenacity, and he's got a good closing kick to him. And I like the 59-3 we saw breezing on the dirt. He trains there just like his stablemate, Race Kane. He's trained at Keeneland all year long, so, familiar with the surroundings and the settings. I like the bullet work a week ago. I think Scooby Quando is going to have a big say in this at 15-1 on the morning line. I think he's 1, 2, 3 for sure. I'm expecting a really, really big effort from Scoobs.
All right, there you go. So
a big CS for Chad Summers, Scooby Doo.
Who are you going to go with, John? What's your pick?
I'm going with Verifying. I like the 3.
Chad, you're going to go with who on top?
I mean, tepidly take Verifying on top, but I'm all in playing Scooby Quando in all 3 positions.
All right, so that's 3-6 with the 3 on top. All right, I'll play it safe in a way, but I'm gonna go with the 1, and I'm gonna throw the 9 in there to try to make some money with the favorite.